Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I am here to give you this week's energy report. So, I'm sure you've all realized that the intensity of this period of transformation is not done with us yet. As we enter into Scorpio, we are feeling the intensity of the times that are asking us to come into some real deep transformation, intensity, and the mystery of life. I really feel personally that there's been so many people that have really been feeling the deepening into spirit. I find there's more people wanting to enter onto a spiritual journey, more people asking questions about how they, are feeling something deeper than the mundane. And this is all music to my ears, of course, being on a spiritual path for so many years. I think it's more than overdue that people are sensing that there's something much greater than us and much greater than the structures around us that we have been so kind of devoted and worshipping of because we've lacked anything else to worship or to project on our own divinity. So for me, it's really exciting to feel humanity at the cusp of such a deep spiritual awakening for everybody that will allow them to enter out of that kind of surface living. I think the analogy of the iceberg is really wonderful as um the symbol of the spiritual journey is that the what's on top and what we see is only really a small percentage of what really goes on underneath in the unconscious and in the unseen realms and in the mystery. And I think when we start to go under the surface of the water into the mystery, we begin to see that life is much more enchanting, special, connected, that there's this certain flow of life around us that if we tap into will move us from one place to the next that is vital for our soul's aliveness and thriveness. So it's asking us at the moment to do a really big, deep dive inwards to go into ourselves on not only a spiritual level, but on a really heavy, physically emotional level. Emotions that sit in our body really do block us from entering into deeper soul spaces. The repression of emotions and the wounds around those, the emotions around those wounds really hold us back from fulfilling our full potential for ridding ourselves of ancestral, not curses, but, ancestral things that affect us epigenetically. They also really stop us from seeing the darker parts of our psyche that are coming up at the moment to be released. I'm about to teach on Thursday night a journey to the underworld with the druidesses as we journey into the underworld with the Celtic goddesses. And for us Celts, the underworld was not seen as this dark, horrible place, but in fact, a dark space that allowed us to come into deep self-reflection and to take ownership of the places within us that were dark, that were shadowy, that were ultimately, when brought to the daylight, were an alchemical gold for our soul. So for us journeying into the underworld on Thursday, we're going to really use the thinning of the veils to take a really good look at ourselves personally and also to take a look at our ancestral complaints or problems that we may be carrying, and we're going to come out with some information that we didn't know about ourselves. I think it's key to understand that what we're seeing outside of ourselves is a result of what is going on internally, and therefore we can begin to pull some personal power back, some resilience and some intimacy with the world around us. These emotional experiences, these things that are coming up for us are really allowing us to shed old skins, the old you, the old you that's gone before, and what that might be for you as you step into a new you. What does a new you look like? What would you like a new you to be? What I find in most of my work is that most people are unable to make things conscious, so they float around. But we have to bring a certain consciousness from the unconscious realms forward to give us some deeper understanding of what we actually want. If we're tied up to the old all the time, then that's not going to do us any good. And I'm going to share this on a personal level. Like last night, had a dream where the Five of Cups tarot card was given to me. And it was a card that says, like, stop now. Like, you've done enough grieving, you've done enough, going over the old, you've done enough heartbreak, you've done enough of this and that. Now it's time to move forward. And so I gave that a really good deep nudge from my psyche to say, okay, now I have done the emotional work, which I do not want to miss as a teacher of the deep emotional healing that we need to do. And it's now time for me to now move forward into a more transformational space and to realize that there is a brand new space opening to me and it's exciting and it's full of evolution and it's going to bring me all the things I want. So what do I want? What is it I want as I venture into the new space? And unless I make that conscious, then I'm just going to be kind of treading water. So this is an opportunity this week to get a notebook and get a pen and to sit and write down, what would you like your life to look like? And divide that up into sections. What kind of loving relationship would I like? What kind of work, career would I like? What would my day look like? What would my relationship be to my family? So you can work on all aspects, or you can choose one that's pretty prevalent at the moment for me at the moment, relationship to another, and what I foresee that being in the future and what that might look like for me. And that is going to look a certain way if I invite what I want in rather than getting what I get. So, everything's matched on a vibrational plane, but I am not the same person as I was 7 years ago. I'm sure that none of you are. And that is a good thing because we have evolved. We're not doing the same thing. We don't look like the same person. We don't have the same values or the same beliefs. Things have changed. And that's part of spiritual evolution. So we invite that in and we know that that's going to be good for us because what Scorpio does is it helps pave the way for healing and empowerment through transformation. But we can only do that if we have personal reflection and we confront difficult truths. There's also a lot happening. We've got, more introspection showing up in the stars with like Venus in Sagittarius. We've got Saturn in Pisces and Mars in Cancer. There's a trine with Neptune in Pisces. What does all this mean? Well, unless we do the work, it means nothing, does it? It's really showing us there's a time to evaluate and redefine the boundaries in love and commitments so that we can lay a solid foundation for future growth. It really is a time of, I like to use this mantra, to trust the unfolding journey, knowing that each step that you work within making the unconscious conscious aligns you with your higher path. So I want to leave you with that. Trust the unfolding journey. Know that when you step into the unconscious and bring forward what's uncomfortable, what's shadowy, what's dark, that it will align you with your highest path. And I think Scorpio energy is really about that, aligning us with our higher path in a more, let's say Scorpio energy is a lot quicker. It feels energetically quicker. We've had rumination, we've had slow time. There's a quickening that's happening that's asking you to be disciplined with it and to start to build a life that resonates with both your heart and your purpose. So I'm wishing you really good journeying with that. Remember that also is prevalent is the feminine and masculine within and outside of ourselves. I've been working with women really over the last few months, really trying to get that message across where the projection on the masculine is that they're toxic, that the projection on your masculine is that they're this, they're that. And there can only be a lot of that in relation to the feminine. So we really need to work on our own selves. If someone's behaving badly, are we allowing that? I said in my group the other night, one of the most amazing things I read in a book ever was when the author said that in order to stop men behaving badly and to change the patriarchy in our world, we should stop making love to those men. And I imagine and envisage that world where women did stop that and how quickly transformation would come upon our menfolk. But the problem is, we as women are as wounded, we are as toxic, we hold as much shadow. And so the interrelation of the contrasex, the opposite, is very much damaged at the moment until we heal it on an internal level. So everything about this time is saying, do your inner work, know your shadow, know your epigenetics and your ancestral things that you're trying to overcome, know what you would like in your life, and blooming well go for it. So I'll leave it there for now, but I'm sending you all much love and blessings of this auspicious time. Bye for now, Collette.